Okay, welcome back to Voluminum. This is episode 26. Today we're starting at spawn, because I've actually got some things to show here. Nothing special really, just some decorating I did. Oh, and I actually tore the iron farm down, finally. Not that it was working, but it's officially torn down, and the last golem stands there. As I said, I would keep him on that glowstone block for now. You can't move them with boats or minecarts, so he's just gonna hang out there for now until I figure out a different way to move him over here, maybe. But anyways, the villagers that survived are hanging out here for now. I just put them in minecarts, and they're just conversating on what to do with life and life itself until they serve a new purpose. For some reason, these guys still have their jobs, even though I broke the composters, and I never traded with them, so I don't know why they're hanging out. But anyways, yeah, I did some decorating spontaneously, and if you watched enough of my videos, you know that's something I don't do. So I was enjoying the long weekend and the chance to stay up later than usual, so I just had some ideas pop in my head about things I wanted to add to spawn. At this moment, I'm still not committed to removing all of spawn. Like I said in the very first episode, this being just a single player world, it isn't as important to remove every bit of lag from spawn because I don't have to worry about anyone else loading chunks elsewhere, so like possibly loading any kind of farms. So I'll likely leave spawn intact for the most part, except of course for the branch mining that I've been doing this weekend. So I know it may seem odd to have gone this far in a world and still be branch mining. It seems kind of pointless, right? Well, maybe it is when we're talking about resources I need, but if you remember, I've got some ore banks to fill up and still a long way to go on them. So doing some branch mining like this is really a great way to get rare ores like diamond, redstone, and lapis. And the upper levels are good for gold, iron, and coal. I think the rest of the levels are also good for that, but just it's less common because of the other ores. And I actually enjoyed doing it. Always have. In fact, worlds that I've started before, I'm kind of bummed out when I realize I don't have to branch mine anymore for resources. For some weird reason, my brain likes doing it. I don't know. Also, this is a good break from the block placing in the end I've been doing for Project Veer. And speaking of that, made a lot of progress on that front too, but we'll get there soon. First, let's take a look at these walkways up here that I did. These serve no real purpose and aren't really for practical use either because I always have an elytra anyways, but I've been flying back and forth from spawn and the starting area, and I realized that it actually isn't that far. So I decided a path from spawn would be kind of cool and maybe add some consistency to the world, just transitioning from spawn to starter area because they're both important. Whoa. How did this guy get all the way over here? And a lot of my big projects like the Guardian Farm, Gold and Bartering Farm, the Nether Fortress Mob Farm, End projects are all out of the way and you wouldn't know they're there even in the world if you were to just start at spawn and try to find things built here. That may be a silly way to look at it, but a more practical flow of the world is what I want. Everything kind of connected in some way. Obviously a Nether hub would be a vital start to that, so that's also a project that I'll need to address very soon, but in due time. Really quick before I move on, I wanted to brag a little bit. I finally found a notch apple. Should be over here in this corner somewhere. The spawner that had the chest that I found in it. Actually, I think I recorded a little clip. Hopefully that will be up on the screen now. You can see when I found it. And I was pretty excited. That's the very first notch apple I found in this world, actually. I'm on day over 15,000 now, and a first notch apple I found. So, and it was in a skeleton spawner room, and this is actually in spawn, so it's kind of cool. So maybe I'll do something fun with it one day. I also just realized I didn't elaborate on this branch mine at all. I just kind of talked about why I did it, and it's kind of unorthodox looking. But I went down to Y5. I was going to go down to Y0, but there's no really point in going below 5 because you start at Bedrock, or that's the Bedrock starts there, so there's no reason to try and start branch mining below this. Kind of has some structure and coordination to it. It's just hard to tell. but there's a quick way up and down from each level you go to, and it starts at, like I said, Y5, and this is you know, a very primitive way of getting up and down from that floor to this floor, but it works. And this goes up to just Y30, and I went up to here because, like I said, I wanted to mine out underneath the ocean and spawn, and so maybe I'm just kind of starting that out in a branch mine. Kind of undecided still there, but I decided I wanted to use a bunch of sea lanterns to light it up instead of torches, because I have more than I'll ever need, and this is a good excuse to start using all of them, and I think it looks pretty good. It's also helpful for mining right below the sea, because if you accidentally break into the ocean and water flows in, you don't have to worry about your torches being wiped away. And this is actually a pretty cool looking view from what I've branch mined so far. I've branch mined a lot more than you would think. This doesn't encapsulate all the time I've spent into it over the weekend. And I guess I should show that little tunnel bore that I unintentionally panned over. This is actually one Mango showed quite a while ago. It's a legit TNT tunnel bore. I really want to make these for my world. I'm really jealous of all of the tunnel bores that I see popping up in videos, and it looks so cool and interesting. But this is about the only way that I could go about doing it, because I don't dupe TNT. I just ran into water, so I just kind of stopped. But tunnel bores are just so fun. You put the TNT there, and it breaks the blocks for you, and it's just fun to watch. I've only went a very short distance though. Anyways, the path starts from the center spawn chunks. All 4 of these chunks are connected right here. These are the center 4 chunks in spawn. And so this is good to know, because anything you throw in the end exit gateway will come out here. Depending on where in the portal you throw items through, it will come out in one of these 4 chunks somewhere. I might be a bit off on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Who knows what I might need that for in the future, but at least I know just in case. Moving down the path a little, this is our kind of first platform here with another portal, ender chest, bed. These are just the sea lanterns I've been using to light up the branch mine. I'm thinking I might move this little starter platform to the center spawn chunks and make that a new platform over there, and make this like a dedicated building for the branch mine. Anyways, going further down, we finally get to land and exit the spawn chunks. And I want to add something to the edge of the spawn chunk so it isn't so drastic a change. But I still wanted to parent where the spawn chunks are. I just haven't thought of anything yet. So the entrance here, this was actually natural terrain, at least most of it. I just laid down the stairs and it fit perfectly. I carved a little into it for some of them, but 99% of this was natural terrain. So the chorus fruit seems a little out of place. I'm still working on making it flow more with the rest of the terrain, but I wanted to bring some of the end into this path because of how important the end realm is to this world. I mostly want to have a more advanced and modern look onto things, but still incorporate stuff from the end dimension, kind of a mix of the two, since that is kind of how the end is now, with my main storage there and some other farms. This path goes all the way to the starting area. Again, this was all kind of in the moment and just kind of happened. So be easy, alright? I still want to add some chorus plants along the path and give it more character and a little bit of light. I might also add more to it than just the path blocks, but this goes from spawn into the starter area, and that's about as far as I got. I did a little bit of cleanup around to make things look better. A little terraforming here, a little terraforming there. And I'm going to actually come up with a nice exterior for this Furnace XP array and kelp block farm, because soon it will actually be an XP furnace array. I just have to gather up some more resources before I start building the cactus towers. So let's go ahead and move on to the end and I'll show you what I mean. So, a lot of grass block placing later. The island is mostly complete. Depending on how big the volcano gets, I'll probably end up expanding the island further outward, making it a bit bigger, because I don't want a giant volcano that dwarfs the island. It needs to be balanced. So I'm just going along while looking at my second monitor, because I have a second account logged in, and looking at this volcano to help me see what things are looking like faster without having to fly up every time to check. It's coming along nicely, so I'm just going to keep building and see where it ends up. But I do plan on it being pretty massive. So one block at a time. I think it's turning out pretty well so far. It looks kind of crazy from the mini-map mod I'm using here. You can see some dirt blocks that haven't grown into grass because there's no light there. What is that white spot, I wonder? The only thing I'm not really fond of is how spread out the beacons are to have an effect. So I'll either bring them closer, or the island, like I said, will just get bigger as the volcano is built up. Because if it starts to get too big and this island looks like a teeny tiny island, I'll make a change, and I want it to be a massive island. Or I want it to feel like the proper end island. So I'm just gonna keep working at it. Alright. Finally, let's go to the area where the focus of the episode was actually meant to be. Before I got kind of distracted. We could see we've got our chorus farm here. So I just spent some time in a creative world. What's funny about these chorus farms is you can't have a chorus farm without the chorus fruit. The chorus fruit you have to collect with like shooting it with an arrow. You could also use dispensers to shoot the chorus fruit with arrows, but that would be a lot bigger, I think, than what I'd like. And it's just easy to walk up here on this walkway, and I can grab the bow in the middle, shoot the target blocks, and it'll activate the dispensers to bring them down. But first, we've got to shoot the chorus fruits themselves and so we can get enough seeds back to replant. That's the important part. That's the kind of annoying part of farming chorus, is that you don't just get back the seeds like you would other farms. You have to actually shoot the seeds separately or get them back in a different way, and then you can just use water or flying machines or whatever you want to break the bottom part of the plant and then get all the coarse fruit. So this farm came to me in a necessity for end rods, and like I said, the cactus farm towers are going to be going up pretty soon, and end rods is a big part of that to help align the cactus when it pops off. And I realized I didn't have very many end rods, and the way to farm them is blaze rod, or the way to craft them is blaze rod and coarse fruit. So I could either just run around end islands and tearing down all the chorus fruit, or I could just make a farm for it where I have a reliable place to go and farm these things anytime I want. That's the route I chose to go with this, and I think it turned out pretty good looking. I like the purple blocks and the way the new crying obsidian matches with them. They kind of like purplish black, and it also gives off some light, so I think it adds a cool little effect to it. The towers on the side here are just kind of encapsulating the redstone by hitting the target block from the center. It just sends a signal down. And if you don't know, target blocks are basically just buttons, so it'll send out 2 pulses. And that's perfect for dispensers, because for them to dispense water, you activate them, we'll dispense it, and then deactivate them, we'll bring it back. So this will retract the redstone block. Actually, I'll just show you. I'll just use it once. So let's go ahead and shoot all these cactus fruit down here. Let's see how long it takes me. Whoa, that one grew under the walkway. I've been really bad this episode at kind of just glazing over things and not explaining properly. So I also want to tell you guys I appreciate the feedback on the last episode. I had a lot of you tell me different things that you like and you didn't like, and I appreciate just the feedback in general. It's good to know that I'm not just sitting here at my computer talking to the monitor and that's it. You know, it's nice to know people are watching and enjoy the content, so I appreciate that. And I've taken, the feedback into consideration, and I'll definitely improve on the episodes and how they're structured. I know a few have said that you like watching things be built on in the episode instead of I built this and here it is. And I mainly do things like that, like this chorus farm. I wanted to build and record while I was building it, but a lot of the builds that I do and a lot of the actual playtime I have is it's over the weekend normally, and then during the week I have time to record and less time to play. It's I've explained it in the past, the balancing act a lot of YouTubers have to do between making content and having time with their family and their jobs. But that's no excuse. I mean, there's definitely times where I can build on camera, and I'll try my best to start doing that more. Another factor in why I don't do that as much is because it's hard to think and build at the same time for a small brain like mine. I have a very one-track mind and get distracted easily, so I could forget that I'm even recording a lot of times, and they'll just be big cuts. But I hope you like what I continue to do, and I'll continue to try and make episodes as entertaining and enjoyable to watch as possible. I understand sometimes it can seem more of like a world update than an episode, but I hope it's enjoyable to watch either way. And again, thank you for the feedback. Let's start tearing these suckers down. I can see a problem arising with this end rod in the way. I think we're okay though, actually. There is a lot of these. I'm not sure if I have a texture pack to make these look different, or do they just look that way when they are fully grown? I actually don't know. So I can kind of tell this may be a bit of a timing issue, because I don't want these things to start despawning. So I better be quick about this. Maybe I should have split this up into different farms. Like, instead of just one big side, have another side. Or you know what I could do? I could add a redstone clock that lasts 5 minutes, and I'll shoot the clock when I start shooting these, so I know, like, I need to complete one side before the 5-minute timer is up, basically. Oh god. These things are still growing. Dang, these things grow fast. I did split these up into two sides at least, so when I shoot one target block, it only activates one side. How long has it been? I feel like I've been shooting these things forever now. I guess I don't need to shoot all of them, I just need to shoot enough to be able to replant. Because the draw to these farms isn't as much these, like, chorus plant things, it's the chorus fruit in general to be able to craft stuff. But you can't have a chorus fruit farm without the chorus plant, so you kind of need these. Okay, I'll say that's good. Let's shoot the target block. And there it comes. Woo! Oh, we've got some loss there. It's okay, I'll go pick it up. Alright, it should be coming along nicely. And I've got it actually sorted out to where... Oh. Hello? That's no bueno. Let's go get those. Before they despawn. Okay. I got a stack of the chorus flowers back. And a bunch of fruit. So I think the problem here is... What is the problem here? Did it just not pick it up? Let's see. No? I think it picked it up, but just couldn't pick it up fast enough. Yeah, there were stacks. So I may need to redo the collection system a little bit. But it's alright. I think you get the idea of the farm. Alright, now let's go over here and we'll turn the dispensers off. Alright, let's also pick up the loss that we have, because this isn't perfect. But I think this was a fun little farm to put together. Instead of just going out and breaking all the chorus fields in the end, I opted to, make a farm. There is something incredibly satisfying about replanting these. I don't know what it is. And I'll do the other side now. Hutcha! Hutcha! Hu! Hu! Hutcha! They call me Hawkeye. Hutcha! Hoopa! Hutcha! Woo! No! I broke the atom frames. Oh, 2 for 1. Oh, and then I hit the rail. And this is probably the most I've used a bow the entire time I've been in this world. Yeah, I'm ready for UHC. Bring it on. Alright, let's set it off. Woo! Oh, that's satisfying. Alright. Yeah, gonna have to maybe work on the collection a little bit, because those hoppers can't pick up that many items that fast. Alright, not a bad haul from the farm so far. We profited on our chorus flowers too, so that's good. I think we get about a stack or a little over a stack of flowers if I manage to shoot all of them. And then plenty of chorus fruit. It looked like maybe almost 9 stacks from one side and about 9 stacks from the other side. So, because there was already some in here from when I was clearing the area for this farm. So that's pretty good. I would say this is a pretty successful farm. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. I'm excited for the projects in the near future, like the iron farm. That's become sort of a necessity now that I don't have one anymore. As well as the cactus farm towers and some undisclosed farms and projects that will be coming up in the near future. But I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time.